disappointing result for the Cobblers today. Didn't help that you conceded a goal to Blackpool so early in the contest.
Yeah, in both halves. You come in first half, after the first half, nothing really much in it. They showed a little bit of quality and, a long ball which we got caught out on, which they then do well. We make a few blocks, we have a slip in the box, then, falls for them and they get that little bit of quality at the end to put it in the back of the net. Puts us 1-0 down, then you're sort of chasing it, but I thought then it just sort of turned out to be a sort of rather even game, nothing really much in it. But you've got to start forcing it. We've got to be better, and that's the biggest thing for me at the minute. We've got to be better on the ball. And it's not for the want of trying or doing what we're doing in training. We've got to show it on the pitch when it matters, when the pressure's on a bit, and we're not at the minute. And that's been the biggest downfall for us, and that's why we're not scoring goals, we're not putting balls in the box, we're not putting balls in the box at the right times, and our quality sort of left us at the minute. And what it is, it's all about making sure that we just keep plugging away, keep working together, and keep going, because we can quickly change this round, like we know. But at this moment in time, it feels like a real bad loss again on the road. With just 2 poor goals for what we've conceded, and that's the manner in what we're conceding goals is. It's not something where I don't think you can sort of put your finger on. It's sort of more individual errors, and then we're getting punished for it, and that's not happening to us. And that's what I said. It was first one was sort of poor from us defensively, and then the second one, just a counter attack, and then the next minute, we're fully in control in and around their box. We could put the ball in the box, and then we make a wrong decision. Then all of a sudden they're in our box getting a penalty, and it just knocks the stuffing out of you at that time. And so, look, we've got to stick together. The lads have got to stick together. We've all got to stick together, and we'll get through this.
You take some heart, I imagine, from the first half performance after you'd gone behind, because you had a couple of close calls there, didn't you? Swire had a shot cleared off the line, Hoskins hit the base of a post. He could easily have been level at the break.
Yeah, and that when you are sort of in this a little lull, if you like, when you are getting punished for them moments, then these things happen. What you've got to do is not feel sorry for yourselves, and that's what I think sometimes some of these lads are doing. They're feeling sorry for themselves. What we've got to do is make sure that we keep supporting them, keep putting them in the right areas, keep doing the right things with them in training, and get them back to where we believe they are as quickly as possible. And we've got a real good chance to do that on Tuesday night now, which is going to be another tough game, because they all are. There's no easy ones, and this was never going to be an easy one. With the resources what Blackpool have and everything else, and the players they can bring in and all that type of stuff and everything else, it's always going to be, we're always going to be battling against it, Tim, no matter what, this year, and we knew that. But we will battle, and we'll get there. I really believe that.
You say the quality has ebbed away a bit. Is it also a question of the confidence having been lost by some of the players at least?
Of course, that's what happens. When you're not winning games, you don't get yourself in a rhythm. You start thinking about it. You start, when the ball's coming to you, you've got, you're not clear in the air. You've got like a little cloud in your head, so it takes a little bit longer. But look, there's no pressure from me, and that's what I keep saying. And what they've got to do is, they've got to find a way again, and we've got to keep working hard and keep believing. And all we can do is repeat really good practices and really good to get them out of it. And that's what we'll continue to do, because I believe we're not that far off getting a result, or a good result, I should say. And then once we do, I feel like that hopefully will then kick us back into gear and where we belong.
As you say, a big game at Rotherham, fellow strugglers on Tuesday. You were missing some players today. We thought some of them might be back. McGeehan, for example. Any of those who were sidelined today in the frame for Tuesday, possibly?
Yeah, well, hopefully. Yeah, I haven't spoke to strength and conditioning coach yet, who's looking after all them today. But I'm hoping that within the next week we're going to see them all back on the pitch, and hopefully be there for us and into this run. What's going to be really difficult, this I think first of. I think 10 games, and now we've got 10 and 35. Yeah. So, yeah, look, we've got a lot to handle in the next month or so. But yeah, look, I'm confident, and as I said, I believe we'll be okay.
And again, the question we keep asking you about potential new signings. You've only got a day, effectively a working day, before you go to Rotherham on Tuesday. I'm sure you're working hard to get more players through the doors at Sixfields?
Yeah, we are. We're hopeful that we might get one quite soon, but we'll be working right till the end of the window. We know, we know we've lost Ethan Wheatley, so can we get someone of his quality or someone who we believe in, where Ethan was when we took Ethan in the summer to come and replace him. That's the difficult bit, and that's been the difficulty because there's not a lot out there, Tim, if I'm honest, and that's why we're all probably there's not much going on. So I propose that, well, I think that what's going to happen is that near the end of the window, a lot of people will become available. So then it just sees if we can make all the finances work and everything else, then I'm sure we'll work hard to get one in.
Just a word about the end of the game. Some of the Cobblers fans not happy. They expressed their disappointment with the result and the performance today. What do you say to those fans?
Don't blame them. I'm not happy, but stick with us. We need you. We're going to need them. They've been brilliant. It's a long old way to get here. So, and disappointing because as we've said, apart from the 2 goals, which I feel like we can take away, and it's a lot of it's to do with us more than them. It's been such an evenly fought contest again. What we've got to do is make our chances and our opportunities. We've got to take them. We've got to make them our goals and everything else. So look, unfortunately, that's well, not unfortunately, they have a right to put their anger and show that they're not happy, and at this moment in time, we're not in a great place in terms of results. Performances over 90 minutes, we're probably all right, but we're just giving the gift and goals away like we wouldn't believe, and that's what we've got to cut out, because sometimes there's no matter how much work you do on the training ground or in the classroom or in the video room, I should say, but that you can't forgive them mistakes, or you can't make them mistakes happen. They just happen, and you've got to take it on the chin, and at the minute we're taking too many on the chin. What we've got to do though is dust ourselves off and get back to trying to keep clean sheets and hopefully start getting back to good results.
I want to ask you one more. Towards the end you brought on a couple of centre-backs, Willis and Deitch. Was that with a view to preserving legs ahead of Tuesday?
Yeah, I think a bit of all, a bit of everything really. Terry was having a bit of a tough time in there, and Connor was already on a yellow card, and I just didn't want it, that coming in a red. He's only just come back. Obviously Bailey's still getting up to scratch, but looked a lot better and looked sharper than again today. So yeah, look, we're a squad which has been hampered with injuries here and there, so trying to get them back in and doing it. But yeah, look, as I always say, look, I believe in the squad since we assembled it in the summer, and what we've got to keep doing is keep believing. But I've got to instill that belief into them, and they've got to believe it themselves. And look, once we get back to what we are and who we are, we'll be okay.
All right, thanks for your time.
Cheers, mate.